SIP-Caller can be integrated with external systems through a REST API. In order to use the REST API, you need to go to the settings section and then API keys. Here you will create an API key which will give you permissions to access a specific section inside SIP-Caller. So we click create here, we will set a name, my API key for example, and we need to set an expiration. An expiration is optional, you can leave it to never, so the API key never expires, but if you want to automatically disable an API key after some time, this is something that becomes useful. The expiration is something that you cannot change later. Once the API key is created, the expiration time is set and the key will be automatically disabled after that. There is no way to change that, so you need to be very careful with this setting. If you need to manually revoke the API key when you are not using an application anymore, you can create it as never with a never expiration, and then go into the API keys section. You can just remove the API key. When you remove the API key, any application using this API key will stop having access to your account. Finally, what you need to define is the roles that you will be assigning to this API key. At this moment, we have two roles, the phone system proxy and the campaign number provider. If you enable the phone system proxy, this role will let you configure the SIP-Caller proxy, which is the module that you need to install in your PBX server when you want to run predictive dialer campaigns. This way, the SIP-Caller proxy will be able to report to your account the status of your queues, and SIP-Caller will be able to know when it's time to make calls and when it's time to stop. Uh, when you define this role, you can leave it open for all the phone systems in your account, or you can filter a specific phone system. So for example, here we can specify 3CX, and we will only use this API key for this phone system. But if you want to report data for the free PBX server, it will not be allowed. In the same way, you can enable the campaign number provider role. This role lets you add new numbers to call to an existing campaign. The campaign should be created in the dynamic mode, otherwise numbers can't be added once the campaign is activated. But if the campaign is dynamic, then you can add numbers using the REST API. In the same way than with phone systems, you can leave the filter disabled and the role will be enabled for all the campaigns in your account, or you can enable the filter and you can select specific campaigns here, and this way the API key will be able to use you will be able to use it only on these specific campaigns. If you click save, the API key will be created and you will see this token. You can copy the token and you should save this in a safe place. Please note that this token is not saved by SIP-Caller. So if you don't have this token anymore, if you lose access to this token, there is no way to recover it. You will need to create another API key. So be sure to take note of this token and keep it in a safe place. If you once you have copied it, you can close the window and you will see the API keys that you have here. As you can see, if you click on the row, you will be able to edit the API key, but the only thing that you can edit here is the name that you have here. So you can change this to my new API key, for example, but you cannot change the expiration. As you see here, it's just a label, you cannot change it. Or the roles are listed here, so you can see uh, which information can be accessed by this particular API key, but you cannot change the rows once this API key has been created. So you can only change the name. If you click save, you will be saving the name.